There comes a time in life when you wake up one morning and you're just tired. Not tired in your body, not even in your mind, but in your soul. Tired of feeling too much, tired of carrying wounds that were never yours to keep. And it is in that quiet moment, in that sacred stillness, you realize healing does not begin when the pain stops. It begins when you stop giving it power. We've all been there, holding on to moments like they are lifelines, replaying words that shattered us, clinging to memories that don't serve us. We feel everything so deeply, but feeling, when left unchecked, turns into chains. And you were never meant to live in chains. I used to believe that healing meant fixing everything that went wrong, that I had to feel it all, carry it all, own it all, until I somehow came out whole. But I was wrong. Healing didn't happen when I understood the pain, it happened when I stopped needing to. You see, emotions are powerful, they are beautiful, but they are also deceiving. They convince us that we are still broken. They whisper that we are not enough, that we are defined by what we've lost or who hurt us. But what if I told you, you are not your pain, you are what you rise from? Healing doesn't require permission. It doesn't wait for someone else to apologize. It doesn't come dressed in perfection. Healing begins when you stop bleeding for battles you've already survived. When you stop giving energy to things you cannot change. When you stop feeling not because you are numb, but because you are done. Done being a prisoner of your past, done drowning in what ifs, done giving space to pain that was never meant to stay. Some might say, but feeling makes us human. And yes, it does. But choosing peace over pain, that makes you wise. That makes you strong. That makes you free. So today, let go. Let go of the need to hurt, to feel endlessly, to carry emotions that don't heal you. Close the door gently with love and walk forward with grace, because everything starts healing when you stop feeling it like a punishment and start living like a survivor. You're not here to be overwhelmed. You're here to overcome. Letting go of emotional pain doesn't mean that you suddenly forget everything that ever hurt you. It doesn't mean you act like it never happened or force yourself to smile through the ache. Letting go in its truest and rawest form is a quiet rebellion. It is the moment you tell yourself, I deserve peace more than I deserve answers. That is where emotional release begins. Not in the absence of pain, but in the conscious decision to stop letting it define every corner of your existence. So many of us carry burdens that were never meant to be permanent. Words spoken in anger, relationships that ended without closure, betrayals that cut deep, and the echo of moments we wish had gone differently. These become invisible weights. We wear them on our hearts like armor, convinced that if we feel it all long enough, something will change, that maybe, just maybe, the pain will validate our experience or fill the silence that followed. But all it truly does is keep us stuck. Emotional pain, when held too tightly, becomes a silent captor. You wake up with it, carry it through your day, and sleep with it like it's the only constant in your life. It infiltrates your thoughts, your confidence, and even your ability to love and trust again. You start building walls around your heart, not to protect yourself, but because you are scared of feeling it all over again. And that's where the spiral begins. But here's what we rarely talk about. Emotional release is not weakness. It's not running away from what hurt you. It's not brushing things under the rug or pretending you're fine. Emotional release is strength. It is the moment you stop giving your past permission to poison your present. It's the decision to feel your emotions fully, then let them move through you, not into you. Because when we suppress pain, we don't illuminate it, we bury it alive. And buried pain has a way of showing up uninvited in places we least expect. There is a quiet revolution that happens when you start choosing peace over prolonged suffering. You begin to realize that healing doesn't mean you erase the memory. It means you're no longer triggered by it. It means you can think of that person, that event, that season of your life, and not fall apart. It means you've done the inner work of honoring your emotions without letting them control the steering wheel. Emotional release is like unclenching a fist you didn't know you were holding. It's that breath you didn't realize you were holding until you finally exhale. It's allowing yourself to feel the pain one last time, not so it can break you again, but so you can finally be free from it. Because the truth is, you cannot heal what you don't allow yourself to release. And you cannot release what you refuse to feel. But here's the key difference. Feeling and holding on are not the same thing. Feeling is human, it's necessary. Holding on is a choice. And every day that you choose to grip your pain tighter, you also choose to delay your healing. The beauty of emotional release is that it gives you back your power. It shifts the narrative from "this happened to me" to "this taught me something." It turns pain into purpose, wounds into wisdom. And yes, it's scary. Letting go of emotional pain sometimes feels like letting go of a part of your identity. You've lived with it so long that it feels familiar, even safe. But healing asks you to walk into the unknown, to leave behind what is heavy and walk toward what is light. Emotional release is not a one-time act, it's a process. Some days you'll feel free, and other days the pain might creep back in. That's okay. Healing is not linear. What matters is that you keep choosing peace again and again. And as you do, you'll notice subtle shifts. You'll start laughing without guilt. You'll begin to trust again, even in small ways. You'll wake up one day and realize the pain no longer consumes you. That's when you know you're healing, not because the past changed, but because you did. You stopped reliving the wound. You stopped feeding the fire. You let the storm pass through you and found at the center of it all a quiet, steady strength you didn't know you had. Because emotional release isn't the end of your story, it's the beginning of your comeback. It's the first step toward reclaiming your joy, your peace, and your wholeness. And that first step, it always begins the moment you stop choosing suffering and start choosing yourself. Your scars are not a sign that you are still broken. They are proof that you survived. They are reminders that no matter how much life tried to crush you, you stood back up. Maybe not immediately, maybe not gracefully, but you rose. And that matters more than anything else. For too long, we are taught to hide our scars, to cover them up, to be ashamed of them, to pretend that nothing ever hurt us. But what if we stopped hiding? What if we started seeing scars not as flaws, but as medals of honor? Every scar carries a story of pain, yes, but more importantly, a story of endurance. It says, I've been through something and I made it out. Whether it's a physical scar or an invisible one carved deep into your heart, it speaks of battles fought and resilience found. You don't get to walk through fire and come out without a mark, but you do get to walk out stronger. The presence of a scar means the wound has closed, the bleeding has stopped, and that is something to be proud of. So why then do we let those scars define us as victims instead of survivors? It's because pain has a way of echoing in the chambers of our hearts. It convinces us that we are still fragile, still breakable, still less than we were before the hurt. But healing truly begins when we change the story we tell ourselves, when we stop using our scars as evidence of our weakness and start recognizing them as signs of our strength. There is a quiet, steady courage in choosing not to be identified by what tried to break you. You are not your heartbreak, you are not your trauma, you are not your loss, you are not your mistake, you are not what happened to you. You are what you did with it, how you carried it, how you got back up and moved forward. That's where your true identity lives, in the rebuilding, not in the ruin. Sometimes we hold on to pain because we think letting go means forgetting. But you don't need to forget in order to heal. You need to reframe. You need to look at those scars and say, yes, I've been through something, but I am not stuck there anymore. The scars don't disappear, but they do fade, and with time they stop hurting when you touch them. That's how you know you've healed, not when everything is perfect, but when it no longer controls your present or defines your future. There's nothing shameful about being hurt. What's truly powerful is that you made it to the other side of that pain. You might not be the same person you were before, but that's not a bad thing. Sometimes pain reshapes us so we can grow into someone even stronger, someone wiser, someone more aware of what truly matters. Scars shape us, but they don't get to own us. The moment you stop defining yourself by what broke you is the moment you start writing a new chapter in your life. You start focusing on your resilience instead of your suffering. You stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what did I learn from this? You stop seeing yourself as damaged and begin to see yourself as rebuilt. You are allowed to be proud of your journey, even if it wasn't graceful. Even if you cried, stumbled, doubted yourself, or wanted to give up 1,000 times, survival is not always pretty. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's quiet and lonely, but it's still survival, and that deserves respect. Too often, people will try to reduce you to your pain. They will only see the chapter where you fell. But you must remind yourself, and sometimes others, that your story didn't end there. You're still standing, still growing, still healing. And that is a beautiful, unstoppable kind of power. Owning your strength doesn't mean pretending nothing ever hurt you. It means standing in the truth of your experience and saying, "This happened, but it didn't destroy me." It means walking into every room with the quiet confidence of someone who has seen darkness and still chooses light. It means not hiding your past, but allowing it to illuminate the resilience within you. So when you look at your scars, don't see them as evidence of pain. See them as reminders of the battles you've already won. Proof that life tried to knock you down and failed. Let them be your strength, not your shame. Let them tell the world, "I am still here. I made it through." And that is something no one can take away from you. Detachment is often misunderstood. People think it means you don't care, that you've grown cold, numb, or selfish. But real detachment isn't about shutting down your heart. It's about learning where to place it. It's not indifference, it's clarity. It's knowing what and who truly deserve your energy, your emotions, and your peace of mind. It's about recognizing that constantly pouring yourself into empty spaces only leaves you drained, not healed. Detachment is the powerful act of choosing yourself again and again without guilt. There comes a point in life where you start realizing that not everything is meant to be held on to. Not every relationship, not every argument, not every memory is worth the space it takes up in your mind. When you continue to feel deeply for things that no longer serve you, or worse, things that hurt you, you hand over your emotional freedom. You give away pieces of your power to people and situations that no longer deserve a seat at your table. But detachment? It hands that power right back to you. You see, there is a quiet strength in learning how to let go without bitterness. In walking away not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring more about your well-being. Detachment isn't about closing your heart. It's about setting boundaries around it. It's about being present, loving deeply, but not losing yourself in things you cannot control. And the truth is, the more you learn to detach, the more peaceful your life becomes. Because you stop chasing validation, you stop fighting battles that aren't yours, and you stop bleeding for people who wouldn't even offer you a bandage. When you stop feeling for what no longer deserves your energy, something incredible happens. You begin to feel for yourself. You begin to invest in your own healing, your own growth, your own joy. You stop waiting for others to meet your needs or fix your broken pieces. You start realizing that your time, your love, your compassion are sacred, and they should never be wasted on things that only pull you down. That's not selfishness, that's self-respect. We often confuse emotional attachment with love, but love should never cost you your inner peace. Holding on to people who don't value you, to dreams that no longer inspire you, or to guilt that no longer belongs to you, it only traps you in cycles of emotional exhaustion. But when you choose detachment, you choose freedom. You choose to rise above the noise, to stop reacting to every trigger, and to stop letting the outside world dictate your internal weather. It takes courage to detach, especially when you've spent years conditioning yourself to feel everything so deeply. But strength isn't in staying stuck. It's in knowing when to walk away. It's in saying, "I still care, but not at the cost of myself." Detachment means you can wish someone well and still choose to never let them close again. It means you can remember the past and still not let it rob your present. It means you can forgive without inviting the same hurt back in. Sometimes we hold on because we believe it shows strength, but more often, it shows fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of loneliness, fear of letting go of what's familiar. But comfort doesn't always equal peace, and peace doesn't come from clinging, it comes from release. Detachment teaches you that your worth is not tied to who stays, who loves you, or who understands you. Your worth is rooted in your ability to protect your own energy, to walk away from what dims your light, and to trust that what's meant for you will never reclaim control over your life. It's not loud, it's quiet. It's in the way you stop over-explaining. It's in the way you no longer chase closure. It's in the way you stop begging to be chosen. It's in the way you start spending more time in peace than in pieces. You stop reacting to every storm. You stop breaking yourself to fix others. And you start living in alignment with your truth. There's nothing passive about attachment. It's an active, intentional process. It's looking at your life and asking, what am I still feeling for that no longer feeds me? And having the strength to cut those ties, not with anger, but with love. Love for the person you're becoming. love for the peace you're protecting, love for the life you deserve to live. So when people say you've changed, let them. When they say you're colder now, let them think what they want. You're not colder, you're wiser. You're not indifferent, you're empowered. And maybe for the first time in your life, you're finally choosing you. You are not what happened to you. You are not the heartbreak that tore you apart, the betrayal that caught you off guard, or the silence that followed the storm. You are not the loss that left you gasping for meaning, or the failure that made you question your worth. These moments are part of your story, yes, but they are not your identity. They are chapters, not your title. The power to define who you are belongs only to you. And it begins the moment you choose to rise above the narrative of pain and step into the light of who you're becoming. There is a quiet transformation that happens when you stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? It's a shift that doesn't scream or shout, it moves slowly, often invisibly, but it is the most powerful decision you will ever make. It's the moment you stop being a victim of what hurt you and start becoming a student of what it came to teach you. That's where true growth begins. Not in the comfort of certainty, but in the courage to rebuild after everything has fallen apart. Pain has a way of shrinking us. It convinces us we are less, that we are broken beyond repair, that we'll never be the same. And the truth is, we won't. But that doesn't mean we're ruined. It means we've been given the chance to evolve. What breaks you also invites you to reimagine yourself, to strip away all that no longer serves you, and to step into a version of yourself that pain never saw coming. That is your power. That is your birthright. Too often we let pain become our identity. We wear our suffering like a second skin, telling ourselves we're forever stained by what we've been through. But you were never meant to carry pain like a name tag. You are not your wounds. You are what you do with them. You are the courage it takes to sit with your sorrow and still choose to hope. You are the strength it takes to walk through the fire and still choose to build. Every scar on your soul is not a symbol of defeat. It is a reminder that you lived, that you endured, that you chose to keep going when it would have been easier to give up. Becoming is a choice. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's not always linear. Some days you'll feel like you've made it out, only to be pulled back into the weight of memory. But that doesn't mean you failed. Growth is messy. Healing is layered, and transformation is rarely a straight line. What matters is that you keep showing up for yourself, even when the world gives you every reason not to. You can't rewrite the past, but you can reclaim your future. You can't change what happened to you, but you can decide how it shapes you. You can let it harden you, or you can let it open you. You can let it define you, or you can let it refine you. That's your choice. No one else gets to make it for you. You owe no one your pain, but you owe yourself your potential. Stop measuring your life by the things that broke you. Start measuring it by how you rise, by the compassion you show yourself, by the courage it takes to keep dreaming in the aftermath of disappointment. Let your pain be the soil where your new self grows. Let it teach you, not trap you. You don't have to forget the past to heal from it. You just have to stop living in it. You are not stuck. You are not doomed to repeat the same cycle. Every day offers a new chance to choose differently, to respond differently, to live differently. Every moment is an invitation to shift, to let go of the narrative that says, this is just who I am, and start asking, who do I want to become? And becoming doesn't mean erasing your pain. It means honoring it without being owned by it. It means taking your heartbreak and using it to build empathy, taking your fear and using it to fuel bravery, taking your setbacks and turning them into stepping stones. You are not what happened to you. You are the story that rises in spite of it. You are the voice that says, I am more than this moment. I am more than what tried to break me. I am becoming. It doesn't matter if no one else sees it yet. It doesn't matter if the world still calls you by your past. What matters is what you answer to. What matters is what you believe about yourself when no one else is watching. And if you can look in the mirror, even on your hardest day, and say, I am still here and I'm still trying, then you are already transforming. You are already breaking cycles. You are already becoming the person your past never believed you could be. You don't have to be defined by the things that went wrong. You get to be remembered for the way you made them right. You get to rise. You get to rebuild. And in doing so, you get to prove that transformation is not only possible, it's powerful. and it begins the moment you decide that what happened to you is not where your story ends.